this is India. It has more than 3 million square kilometers of land. So it's no surprise that this country is affected by so many natural disasters every year. These range from droughts, landslides, earthquakes, and of course, floods and heavy rain. Now, most of these happen in urban areas or cities, so that's what we see in the news most of the time. But some of these happen in villages or rural areas, and we might not always be aware of that.
We need to just come out of our comfort zone of cities and metros. There's a lot of work out there in our remote areas and our different parts of the country.
Now, the problem with this is that most of these villages won't have access to the same aid which would be available in cities.
So, at the time of disaster, what happens that you must have seen these medical teams setting up camps.
Yes.
You have medical teams, rescue teams setting up their camps. Then you have food teams who take care of the food and water. But there is no such team who takes care of the shelter or habitat.
Tell them about the Twinkie. Tell them about Twinkie. Tell them about Twinkie. Tell them about Twinkie.
So by 4 p.m., we finally entered the mountains. We stayed overnight in a village called Chamba, and by 7 a.m. the next morning, we left for a small village about an hour away called Jasu. Step 1. Now, these people are very nice. They let us enter their homes and measure literally every nook and cranny of their place. Step 2. Getting to know the people, the actual inhabitants of those houses. So each team was given a number of houses, and first we had to measure them, and after that we had to interview the people who actually lived there, figure out who they were, what they do, their aspirations, and whatnot. And that's when we got to know about the Panchayat Bhavan. I'll let my friends explain what that is.
This is the Panchayat Bhavan. As you can see, the weather, the climate and the natural disasters
has rendered the building useless due to cave-ins or
As architecture students, our aim is to redesign and redevelop this entire area, whereas keeping the setting in mind. So we have to keep the architectural context intact, the character intact, but we have to come up with better structural solutions to make a stronger and better building.
That's when we asked ourselves, why did the Panchayat Bhavan collapse? To answer that question, we have to understand two main concepts here: Pukka and kachcha. And here's one of my professors to explain what that is.
Okay, so we've been discussing about the two types of architectural vocabulary that we saw in Jasu village. One is this vernacular form, the other one is this new form with new materials, new construction techniques. Okay, so
Google defines Pukka housing as houses that are designed to be solid and permanent. And it defines kachcha as houses that are not strong, usually made of mud, clay, and straw. So that seems pretty straightforward. So why is this so important right now?
say if this is a Pukka house, so they will get many benefits to construct these kind of houses. Whereas they have banned stone, they have banned wood and whatever slate, so lime. So they have banned all the products that are needed to construct this, and they have made it easy. They have constructed roads. They have put this whole infrastructure of whole chain from main city to small city to get. You can easily get a brick to this place.
Okay, so that makes sense. Ban the construction of unstable and dangerous buildings and promote the construction of safer and stronger structures. It should be the end of it, right?
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Well, it's not that simple.
But did you notice the cracks and the kind of state these new houses are in? They are already in dilapidated condition.
That's true. Most of these new buildings aren't designed for the climate or setting of Jasu village, and they tend to fall apart pretty quickly.
What we call kachcha house is more intact and more appropriate for that climate. Okay, so this is the technical definition of kachcha and Pukka. Okay, but whereas in reality, what we call kachcha house is more Pukka and then the Pukka house.
Now we've cleared that out, what does the Panchayat Bhavan have to do with all this?
Okay, although that the building, the Panchayat Bhavan is constructed with new materials and so-called Pukka construction, but still that's the first building that collapsed during the disaster.
When working on an area such as Jasu, we have to take into account the actual settlement, and we can't just build anything out of our mind.
And that was the purpose of the entire mission. To figure out what makes those old buildings old. We have to ask the people who were there when they were constructed how they managed to survive for so long. And to realize that they know something that we don't. So, taking our modern advancements to the village simply won't work. It's not suited for the climate, for the hill setting, or for the materials that are available there. We have to go and design to what's already there, instead of just erasing it and building something completely new and alien. Now, I know we're just students. We go there for a couple of days, and then we get back to civilization. But what about the people that live there? That wake up every day in the same house, the same village, the same part of the world? What happens to them in case something bad happens? And this is just one village. There's hundreds of it spread across the entire country. And we need everyone's help if we're going to work towards a better tomorrow.